Now, I invite you to let him do the same for you. He will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. Joel, chapter 2, verse 25. Part 1. Anchored in Hope. The heart and soul of a leader begins with who we are at our core. Chapter 1. Born to make a difference. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. Psalm 139, verse 16. It was a cloudy summer evening when my mother hurried my younger sister, baby brother, and me into a strange woman's black car. My 6-year-old mind was full of questions. Why were we leaving? What would Daddy say when he got home? Who was this woman? Mummy seemed to know her, but I'd never seen her before. We made our way along dirt roads and partially paved streets until the car made one last turn into a long, straight driveway and came to a stop. It was almost dark outside, but I knew we were at Grandma's. There she stood. Over her clothes, Grandma wore her usual full apron with pink flowers, dark pink edging, and a little pocket where she kept her hanky. Mummy slipped out of the car as Grandma stepped from the small, weathered wood porch and walked toward us. After a few brief words, Grandma led us into her small bungalow, and the strange woman reversed the black car out of the driveway. She was gone. We stacked our few belongings in a corner of Grandma's kitchen, and we ate a snack of toast and homemade jelly before settling into bed. It was August 26, 1956, the day before my sister's 5th birthday, a week before I was to start school for the first time, and the day that all our lives changed. Grandma's home became our home, at a hive of activity that lasted longer than one night. In 1945, Grandma and Grandpa had purchased their property, cut trees from the land, and made boards to build their humble home. The 4-room bungalow and land had still needed a lot of work when Grandpa died in 1947. When we arrived that rainy night, almost 10 years later, the outside well was the place to draw water, and the structure at the end of the pathway leading away from the house served as the toilet facilities. From the inside of Grandma's home, lonely studs revealed the exterior wallboards and cracks stuffed with newspapers or rags to keep out the cold. It was hot in summer and icy in winter. Bugs and mice continued to find their way in. To some people, her house was a shack. But to me, it was Grandma's home, and it was safe. Since I was a 2-month-old baby, my parents had left me in Grandma's care for long periods of time. I don't know all the reasons she took me in so often, but by the time we arrived on her doorstep that summer evening, I'd already spent most of my life with her. It was during those early years that a close bond formed between Grandma and me, a bond that became my anchor for years to come. 3 years, 3 more brothers, and many struggles later, my parents got back together for the sake of the kids, and my dad moved in with us. One brother had been adopted out at birth, so we were 5 children, and 3 adults, crammed into Grandma's tiny house. When I was 11 years old, our family moved from Grandma's, and I remember thinking, this must be what it feels like to bleed on the inside, because it sure hurts in there right now. That night, with my sister and brothers beside me, I lay on the floor on a well-used mattress discarded by the previous owners. It reeked of the pungent smell of dried urine, and in time, mingled its odor with secondhand cigarette smoke that washed the unpainted walls a yellowish gray. I was a little girl who felt alone, abandoned and empty in a people-filled house with no say in where she lived. When I cried about leaving Grandma, my mother scolded me, "Don't be ridiculous. This is your home now. Forget about Grandma and go to sleep." Brushing away the remaining tears, I whispered into the darkness, "No one will ever again see how I feel on the inside. I will never cry again." And I didn't, until many years later. But there was a cost.